Hey, what's going on guys, Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Golgari midrange deck for standard best of 1. So it is the last day in the season, and I'm playing this because a lot of people on the last day play lots of aggro to either get to mythic quickly or to get to numbers quickly. And this mid-range deck has a really good aggro matchup. It's not very good against the Sultai ultimatum deck, which we're kind of conceding that matchup. But I mean, we have a couple tools here and there, but really we are disadvantaged in that matchup. But we do have a huge advantage in any aggressive matchup. Really, we're just trying to play a cheap mid-range game and try to get the job done that way. So again, to the list, we have Bloodchief's Thirst, just a cheap removal spell, very good, especially in best of 1. Worst case, you kick it, kill a planeswalker or a bigger creature. We play some Agonizing Remorses. While this isn't optimal against aggro, we want to have at least some game against the ultimatum deck, which Remorse and Nightmare give us. We have like 5 solid hand hate spells. Gargaroth gets card advantage. Chariot can be troublesome to deal with sometimes. Basically, these are our kind of outs. Like, we have a plan against them. It's not ideal, but it is a plan. And this is decent against aggro as well, especially on the play. So that's why we have some hand hate. If you're playing best of 3, you can definitely tune this better, but today we're playing best of 1. So we're going to continue with the list. 2 Eliminates and 2 Heartless Acts. That's what, 4? Just 1 to 2 mana, shoot, kill your thing, and a bunch more at 3. So like I said, we're really tuning this against aggro. This is to kill smaller creatures with counters. This is to kill creatures with no counters. Ooze, because sometimes you just need to eat yard, gain some life, gets really big. It has to be answered, and it's a really good way to kind of bridge the gap from the mid to late game, use some spare green mana. Tangled Florahedron, as sort of our last 2 lands, we run 26 lands in this deck, including the 2 Florahedrons, so you can play it as a tapped green land, which is fine, or you can kind of ramp to a turn 4 Binding, Chariot, or Pulchranos, which are all really solid things to ramp to. Shovel is a way to keep up with the aggressive creatures that I am expecting to see. It's a really good body. 1/3 Death Touch means it doesn't die to a lot of stuff. It gets shot down by the Snow Bolt Frostbite, which is kind of annoying at 3 snow permanents, but aside from that, it doesn't get answered super easily, bar like, black removal and that kind of thing in creature matchups. Really good against mono white, especially with all the targeted removal we have. Gains us life and draws us cards, hopefully will prove its use. Nightmare we kind of went over. Mythos, so we're not Abzan really. Our only quote-unquote white card is the Mythos, which is relatively free to play because since we're playing Binding, we get a forest anyways. It kind of sucks just to get a forest. So we're running the Abzan Triome as mostly a black green temple with the land type Swamp for our Castle Locthwain and the land type Forest for our Binding the Old Gods, but it also gives us access to white mana, so we can kill any permanent off Mythos. But aside from that, it's just a 3 mana kill a thing, like a creature. And if you don't want to play it, that's fine. You can swap it out for Murderous Rider or something else. If you don't have these Triomes, you can win the Sultai one. Anything with, like, black, green, and forest is completely fine. Visionary, this can ramp us to Gargaroth on 5. And if you have a Florahedron, Garruk, which are kind of like our card advantage closers, replaces itself, ramps, decent body. So we run 3 copies. Asika's Chariot is really interesting against the aggro matchups. It replaces itself, really good against the control matchups too. If they don't have like a Heartless Act, it's pretty much the only clean answer that Sultai has at instant speed. The other one being, at sorcery speed being Binding. But if they don't have like 6 cards out of the 80 in their deck, or maybe a bit more, let's say like top 8 cards in the 80, they can't exactly deal with the Chariot despite being able to deal with the cats. Anyways, I've seen this card like completely pop off for me when I run it, so I'm trying this out. Binding, kill a thing, get your forest. And I mean, we do have some creatures, so the Death Touch might come in handy. We'll see. I don't really expect it to. Pulchranos is just a big body, really good blocker against aggro, can fight a thing. Escape it against rogues, which since they won the Kaldheim championship, I expect to see. Maybe we should be running more copies. And if you're running into rogues, try out main decking a Chainweb Arachneer that can kind of farm them. Gargaroth, really solid body, can attack, gain life, go wide or draw some cards. You guys know Gargaroth, one of our kind of main closers. We slam it and hope it survives, and it just helps us bridge to closing the game. Garruk, a similar vibe, comes down, kills a thing, and draws a card, or you can just start going wide with the wolves. Acts as a pseudo win con, but also a way to not exactly catch up, but stabilize. It's just a pretty solid mid to late game planeswalker. Mana base is fairly solid. We just have, it's fairly standard, just a Triome, Fabled Passage. Instead of running more pathways, you can kind of like tone back on basics and Castle Lochthwain if you want, and just run a bunch more pathways to splash white for Mythos. You can run more Mythoses. I don't think that's the way to go. I like having more swamps for castle. I might even bump this up to 2 castles. I like having Fabled Passage to fix my mana early in the game, or have more untapped lands later, and pathway because this is the actual Golgari pathway instead of just trying to splash white. This helps with mana fixing. So that's it for the list, guys. If you're expecting to face aggro, I do recommend this, and if you really want to hate out aggro, you can run like Extinction Event on 4 instead of the Chariots or the Polokranos, which you're going really extreme at that point, but hey, can definitely work. So deck list will be in the description down below as always. If you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. So that's gonna be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Okay, on the play, hand's pretty good. We have a lot of interaction. Hopefully we're against aggro here. We're gonna fetch a swamp, right? So this enters untapped, even though I'd like to have more green for the ooze. White, let's go. That's what we like to see. Turn 1, Alseid of Life's Bounty. Yeah, so we have removal spell, removal spell, removal spell, and this hates the yard. Okay, so punished, but it's okay. I guess we just hold open the Heartless Act. If they play Aspirant, then it's fine. Nightmare deals with it. Attack? Sure, you can gain a life. If I can hit something better like a Daxos, then I'm super happy. And if they do nothing, we just Heartless Act it. Birth of Meletes. Interesting. Very interesting. So a control card and an aggro card, seemingly in mono white. I guess we're gonna play out Ooze. And play Tapland. Castle might have some work to do. Ooze can be a 3/3. Weird. This can take out the wall and get into their hand, which I don't know how good that's going to be, but it's definitely a thing we can do. We'll see what they play. So, I don't know. This could be Celestia. They ran 2 enchantments, just missing green mana, but Triple Plains leads me to believe otherwise. We'll see what they do. Hit me with that rope. It's not like I can do anything. Okay, Jubilant Skybonder. Interesting. Spells your opponent controls to cast this creature cost 2 more to cast. So this would cost 5 mana. If I that's so bad. Okay. That's awkward. I guess I attack. And if they don't do anything, they block with the wall. Yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say if they block with the Skybonder, I just eat the Alseid. Sure. I don't think there's any reason not to. Now, do we Elspeth's Nightmare this wall? I think we do. We can deal with the Skybonder in other ways. Oh, because this doesn't target. Right, okay. I'm not gonna kick the wall. I don't really care. I'm not an aggro deck. That's actually really interesting. So is this still mono white? Just using this as a flyer? Yeah, so these sagas don't counter. Don't target, sorry. Banishing Light, probably my ooze. So this is like they take out my Nightmare. Okay, so they're protecting something in this hand. Good thing we have Abzan mana open for Mythos. Probably should have eaten Alseid, but it's okay. Polokranos. Let's go. I could actually Mythos this Banishing Light. Take out the wall, but I want to see if they're going to block. They're not. So, do we Mythos this Banishing Light? If we do, we get our Nightmare back, and we get to look at their hand. They were definitely protecting something. But they might have the mana to play it by now. They could be on ECD. I actually think we do that. Play on ECD. Okay. Destroy permanent. Pay with Abzine sucks because you don't get to have any more green open. But yeah, so weird line. They're on 4 lands, meaning if they are playing ECD, they can have it next turn for the Polakranos. Another Birth. Maybe that's what they were protecting, but I doubt it. And if they weren't protecting anything, then there's no reason to take this Nightmare. Weird. I don't know what I'm up against. This looks like a weird white mid-range deck as well. Heliod? That's still a... Does Nightmare take Heliod? I'm actually not sure. Okay, this is a weird deck, guys. So Heliod, sure. We attack. The Yard's going to get exiled, so we can go for Polakranos. And then make this thing a 4/4, so we have double 4/4. Is that better than playing Gargaroth? We could play Gargaroth, and if we draw land, we have Gargaroth plus Bloodchief's Thirst. What are they going to play? Probably either Angel or Archon. Maybe Gargaroth is just strictly better. Alright, let's go for Gargaroth. It starts drawing us cards a lot quicker. Plus it has reach to deal with the double flyers they have. How many cards in the yard? 3. And they played this flyer instead. So to play the Alseid. Okay, so they have a whole constellation theme. I see. I understand. Exile your yard. So an Agonizing Remorse would have been really good there. So what's the plan? We can take out the Alseid and their devotion goes down. Let's start there. They can use their mana to protect something, but regardless of whatever happens, Heliod dies, or doesn't die, but doesn't become animated anymore. So you give the Pegasus what? Probably pro-green? But that's fine. We can still attack with a Gargaroth. Draw a card. Because even if they mass block here, then they can't kill it. Yep. So we're still getting some damage, which is solid. Oh, they gain life. That's right. So they make the Archon bigger. Okay, fair. Let's grab another green source. Play out Polakranos. And do we want to eat yard or do we want to Bloodchief's Thirst something? I think we'd rather eat yard and then Bloodchief's Thirst on our turn. Okay, opponent's gonna gain some life. Gonna put another counter on something. Wow, look at the combos. Look at the Heliod life gain combos. This is gonna be annoying eventually. Because we're getting slow and incremental grindy card advantage. They just get 4 angels 4 turns in a row. The counter goes on the Archon, that's fair. I don't even think we have any outs to Heliod. Like, has Indestructible, making it just that much more awkward to deal with. Animates the Heliod, okay. But we're going to kill something and take them off that in just a second. They attack with their lifelinker in the air. And their Heliod. I think we just take 5 from the Heliod. And we go here. Because regardless, they're going to gain life. So we might as well draw some more cards. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Destroy target creature, draw a card so we can take out the Archon. Counter goes on the Archon, very good. They're putting all their eggs in one basket instead of going wider with the Angel. I respect the enchantment sub-theme. Let's use our mana and eat the Alseid out of the yard. Could be relevant in case they have Aluris, plus it gains life and grows the ooze. Okay. Another Nightmare. I don't think that's very good right here. So what we play, Garrick. Take out Archon. Start there. Archon dying takes the loyalty off Heliod. Take you out, draw a card. We have 6 cards in yard, so technically we can escape this. So we attack. I don't think we attack with all. I think we just attack here. They can gain lifelink, but it's really whatever at this point. Let's draw another card. I'm really going to fight them on a card front. Eliminate. Not bad. Not amazing because of all these angels. So yeah, they can just take 12, I guess. That's also an option. And we'll play this tapped. We just want to progress our mana right now. Gargaroth having reach is really solid. Another thing they could have done is blocked either of my creatures with the angel and given it lifelink to gain some life. Other angel fetches other angel, and there's Heliod. Heliod doesn't look that great though. Attacks right into a Gargaroth, which is okay, but we just draw another card, so doesn't look good either. And another Gargaroth. Okay. We have options here. We can also just fight one of these angels. So this is 4 mana, this is 3 mana, but this leaves us with a 6/6. Let's zero the Garruk first. First and foremost. This is going to cost 4 mana, so sure. Take out the angel without summoning sickness. I don't think it really matters, but we're going to do what we're going to do just to get Heliod off some loyalty. And creatures in the yard, now there's 2, so we can attack with everyone. Because we can make the ooze bigger if they block with it. Do we just go wider and try to kill them? I think we just go for cards. Cards, cards, cards. Maybe that's too conservative, but we have board presence. And Garruk is feeding that board presence every turn. Yeah, lifelink the angel. Sadly, eliminate, can't just deal with it. Chariot, that's pretty funny. They block the ooze. They're going to gain some life. They block there. Fine chump block. Let's eat Archon. Okay, opponent down to 4 up to 8. Put a counter on the Heliod. And I don't know if we hit our land. I don't think we did, but whoa there. Not much we can do about it right now. So we're holding open eliminate and ooze eat yard. If they don't give me anything good to eliminate, we'll just beef up the ooze some more, and they scoop it up. All right, so that's pretty much the perfect mid-rangey plan. Like, Gargaroth really puts in that much work, and reach as a keyword showed its value. Opponent's gonna start plenty of removal and chariot to follow up, so let's go and hope we're against mono red or something. Yeah, so now we just need to hit land. That's literally the only task. All right, a removal spell for turn 3 is good, but right now we need 2 lands. So we keep this 1 because of all the removal and the lack of companion, 2 because we have both our colors, and 3 because we're on the draw, and on the draw we're more likely to hit land. If the Strawber steals my land, okay, that's fine. That is completely fine. And we hit land 3, okay. The second we hit land 4, I feel very relaxed because binding ramps us. Yeah, let's take this out now. Don't want to give them a proc. And if they play Annex, then I can take it out with Mythos. Not a big deal. Bone Crusher Giant, also a fine Mythos target. That's tough. That is tough. So do we concede a turn and do nothing to guarantee binding on 4? I don't think so. I guess double green. I don't think it really matters right now. But yeah, I don't want to take a turn off of this removal thing. No, just destroy now. Opponent might have had a Rimrock Knight, so maybe it's worth letting them attack. They don't have cleave mana. Kargan Intimidator, okay. We're running them dry of resources, but what we're really looking for is just untapped land right here. And all of our lands are untapped except for Triome right now. Fabled Passage, Castle, Pathway, any basic. And ideally, I want to start with these on 1 or fetch them off the triome, or off the binding, sorry. So either they're just being really slow or they're considering adding more to the board. Probably another even card and they're thinking about playing around Extinction Event because they've gone creature, 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 and we've gone removal spell, removal spell, removal spell, which is kind of funny. Oh yeah, that classic rope. Maybe I'm just giving them too much credit and they forgot to end their turn, not remembering that Kargan Intimidator will hold priority. Because I actually see that as a legitimate possibility. And we draw the untapped land. Let's go. Is it better to Chariot? I just think we kill everything. Kill everything in sight. Next turn, if they can't add to the board, we'll play the Chariot and start getting card advantage that way. And I say card advantage, token advantage, you know, like my cats. Rimrock Knight, so they did have the Rimrock Knight, okay. Let's grab the Triome. I'm used to them being all the way on that side. Other binding. I think we can play Chariot now. I think this is the opt time because we can block with just one Rimrock Knight, or we can block with just one cat, or we can crew and block with the Chariot. Fervent Champion can make the knight bigger, and they just pass. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. My creatures gain Death Touch, so we can take out the Fervent Champion. Let's go for it. Fervent Champion gone. Let's crew the Chariot. We don't have our Death Touchy boys, but I don't think it really matters. We get the attack off, so even if they trade for the knight... Oh, they can't even block with this. What am I doing? Yep. Pass there. And if they don't draw land right here, then they can't cleave. And if they have cleave in hand, we take it with the Nightmare. And that's game. So our virtually removal tribal hand has paid off. And yeah, like I said, I'm just hoping to face off against aggro, because when you have removal with card advantage, and a minimalistic way to gain cards, like let's say we had a Shovel in here, we're drawing cards for everything we kill and we're gaining life. And even if this isn't like a Chariot, and we have a Polychronos, or we have a Garrick, or we have a Gargaroth, like, we just easily take over this type of match. Okay, but yeah, hand is good. We have removal into a 2-drop into hand hate if we need it, like we're against ultimatum. Although I don't think we are, seeing as there's no Yorion companion. Now the question is, do we turn 1 fetch green or turn 1 fetch black? So this needs double black to be kicked up, but this needs more green to actually work. I think we go for double black, but we'll see what we're up against first. If we see rogues or like Temple of Deceit, we'll probably get green instead. Or if we see like Rakdos Pathway, I'll probably get green instead. But anything else, I think I'm just going to grab black. Could get me in trouble. But then it leaves turns like turn 3 really awkward, because it's say, okay, they just go for a Fervent Champion. We crack and grab black then. Although, maybe I'm just putting way too much thought into this. I do think we just grab green now, because my play pattern is probably just going to be play Shovel. And we draw the Swamp anyway, so all that deliberating really didn't end up mattering. But yeah, Shovel comes down, and now we can go for, if they can't remove it, Blood Chief's Thirst on this Fervent Champion into a Scavenging Ooze, and they have double Fervent Champion. Yeah, we'll let them hit us. I don't need a pump spell to kill my Shovel, and then we just don't, you know, get rewarded for removing their things. Let's start here. Want to gain the life, want to draw some cards. Bounty counter, 3 life, and a card. That's really good. I actually think we take the turn here and get into their hand. We don't have any more removal for bigger creatures, and I don't know when we're going to cast this otherwise. They're on a sort of like slow pace right here, so I think we actually do this. Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. Okay. So they can play Rimrock Knight next turn regardless. This is going to get annoying, but we can gain a bunch of life, but they can shut it down. Taking Cleave doesn't really accomplish anything. We can take Bird, but we also kind of want... We can also exile it with the Nightmare. I actually just think we take Rimrock Knight. I think it's going to cause us the most trouble. If they only had one Cleave, I'd take that. Let's go for the Knight. It makes... If they don't draw land, then they just have to play this Exploration. No attacks, and it means they don't have a clean attack with the champion. And if they play land 3, then I'm happy to Elspeth's Nightmare, and that's it, yeah. Like, whatever creature they play, even if they don't play the Phoenix, sorry, and they just play the Roiling Vortex, then we put a counter here, kill it with Elspeth's Nightmare, draw another card, we get look into their hand, we get to take the Embercleave. Hopefully we find more removal, and by that time they might have played the Phoenix, it gets exiled. So pretty happy with how this play pattern went. Ooh, against Yorion. As far as against Yorion hands go, this is probably one of the better ones we could get. Ramp, decent creature, hand hate. Like, we're gonna face Yorion like this. Although, I don't like my odds. I actually don't even love my odds. We are going to play it out because we ain't no bitch. Yep. Let's actually just get down Triome. I'm going to play slow because I'd rather get to actually casting my spells, and I kind of want to cast this later. I don't want to give them something to remove and use their mana, but they have Omen anyways. And I really want to resolve this on 3, and if I don't draw the 3rd land, then we don't get to. Or sorry, the 3rd untapped land. So yeah, we wouldn't have been able to resolve this. Which, all the removal coming in now makes sense. It's like half of our deck. This might just get worried. Which would suck, but it is what it is. The opponent's in that deep thought. If they just have 1-for-1 removal, it's not great. Resolves, okay. So if they shoot it, whatever. Nightmare. More pseudo hand hate, so I guess that's okay. But I do want to keep hitting my land. Yeah, so they take it out, which slows down my ramp, but it replaced itself, so it's not the worst spot to be in. And we'll see if they hit land. They do. Seeka's Chariot. Okay, I guess our removal is going to have a job. And we actually hit land 4, thank God, so we can Binding the Chariot. That goes bye-bye. We can take a couple hits from these 2/2s. It just means the Nightmare gets a little bit better because it can get into their hand and take out one of these cats. So I want to pace my hand hate and I want to pace my Gargaroth correctly. They foretell, okay, kind of plays around hand hate. That's probably just an epiphany. I'd feel better if this was a Heartless Act because it could kill Vord and collects at instant speed. But you can't have it all. And we hit our land drop, so that's good. And awkward draw because I want to get these off the bindings, but I guess if we're getting basic forest, it's not the end of the world. Let's go for a Nightmare, play around Jwari's Disruption. Eat one of these kitty cats. Opponent's missing land, which is a good sign. It means they probably don't have Jwari's, but whatever. And I'm going to just kill this now. I don't see many other cards we'd Bloodchief's Thirst. Like, I guess a bird. They Omen. Okay. If they were missing land, they probably should have Omened for the land drop. Wonder how much removal they have, because I do need this Gargaroth to get me more cards. Bottom top. Okay. Probably just land. Play Triome out. And we're going to get a look at their hand with Nightmares. So we're going to see what's going on. This could be a Behold. This could also be a take an extra turn. They bolt in Seagate. Okay. Eliminate looking bad. The other cards are looking okay. And they buy Yorion, which I can actually take with the remorse. That might be the plan. So like remorse and chariot isn't horrible. You go for an omen now. Kind of really incentivizes me to take the Yorion with the agonizing remorse. We'll see what they have. Okay. Take your ultimatum. So we take your ultimatum. We take your Yorion. They can have like double extra turn. It's honestly whatever. It's like annoying, but it's fine. Okay, thank God they didn't have double ultimatum on top of all that. And that means if they... Well, this is probably just an Epiphany. They would need untapped land to cast the Epiphany. If not, aside from that, they're probably just going for Tome. Heartless Act, my thing. That's completely fine. They draw again. I kind of want to bait out this Heartless Act. Garrick. So do we go for that now? Do we go for the Garrick? I think I animate the Chariot. And then if they Heartless Act it, we play Gargaroth and hope they can't answer it. Because if they do and they just go for a bunch of Epiphanies, like let's say they Heartless Act the Chariot, we play Gargaroth, then they just go Epiphany into Epiphany with no removal. The Gargaroth looks really good. It means the birds can't even peck at me. And if they don't Heartless Act the Chariot, then we're... Yep, that's completely fine. So can you deal with this? That's the next question. I genuinely believe this is a Allrun's Epiphany. I think we're about to see, if they hit land, they should have upkeep scryed if this is an Allrun's Epiphany. Because if they upkeep scry into land, then they can go Allrun's Epiphany into Allrun's Epiphany. Omen of the Sea, 4 omens, can hit land 6. That's kind of unfortunate for them. I kind of feel bad, but, you know. I'm also kind of happy because I'm playing the one deck that has a horrible matchup against their deck. 2 to the bottom, geez, that much lack of land, unless you're just looking for a Gargaroth answer, which I would get. For Telepiphany, you could draw off the Tome. They find land. They finally find their Seagate Restoration. Okay. So what's going on? I guess they're considering, do I draw off the Tome or do I foretell? And they foretell, okay. Because they can still set up a Tome Scry creature, yeah. I feel like there's a Planeswalker that says creature or artifact. Go wider, draw some cards. I don't think I'm winning a card battle against them. I think we go wider. I think I have to kill them as soon as possible. Yep, down to 6. Garrick comes down and makes more wolves. Just give them more things to respect and that they have to answer with the least amount of mana possible because they only have 6 lands. Okay. If they go Epiphany into Epiphany, which we're expecting a huge sequence right now, again, they could have upkeep scryed if they really wanted to find an ultimatum or another land. But yeah, so they can go Epiphany into Epiphany. We know that they at least have 1, and by the way, if they played this, they pretty much guaranteed to have another one. But they can attack. I mean, they can, but they really shouldn't, because Gargaroth is going to get me a bunch of card advantage. Whether that be going even wider, or just drawing more cards. And there's the Jwaris I've been pseudo playing around. I mean, if you're drawing bad, they can just go for this. Oh, they're touching it? Hey, look at that. We predicted right. Okay. Attack with your birds. Do it. Forget about the reach. And they finally finish the tome up with scrying. Okay. So their huge sequence is almost done. They go to the bottom. We know we've dealt with one ultimatum, and they've done a lot of scrying to the bottom, so really they're about 50 cards-ish in. Okay, that's a big boy. Big crockeny boy. So can we close here? That's the question. Let's say I kill my own wolf and we ultimate Garrick. Can we kill them? This goes to 9. Let me think. So we kill our own wolf, ultimate the Garrick, kill this bird, kill this bird. I guess we have instant speed because trample. I think we got it. I'm not even gonna do this math. That's how confident I am in this play. Or not confident, it's more like if this play doesn't work, we lose. So we're gonna, yeah, I'm sure. Okay. So we kill the wolf. Ultimate the Garrick. Says nice. Yeah, thanks. Give him that thanks. Kill the bird. Yeah, good game. All right, so yeah, we had lethal there because whatever they block with the bird, we can, and if they block anything with the bird, we eliminate it too, and then we get full trample damage, and we're just super wide anyways with trample. So yeah, a little cheeky play there, kill my own wolf, ultimate the Garrick for lethal, but even though this ultimatum player didn't draw optimally, I think I played that pretty much as well as I could given the circumstances. All right, guys, and we are back. So I had a lot of fun with this deck. It's kind of my type of Magic, just little incremental card advantage, kill your opponent's stuff, and eventually close out with some not crazy over-the-top win cons, just kind of like inch out of victory. And the deck is honestly pretty solid. I'm going to reiterate, it's really bad against Ultimatum. That win was pretty lucky. The opponent was mana screwed for a little bit, plus I drew 2 of my hand hate spells into Gargaroth and Garrick. We could have easily just flooded on removal, like drawing a bunch of Heartless Acts, Eliminates, and Mythoses, as well as Bloodchief's Thirsts that just straight up do nothing. But we did draw a couple of those cards, just not as many as, well, not enough to make us lose is my point. Aside from that, aggro matchup is really good. You might want to change up the deck just a little bit. I always found myself looking for a 4th Gargaroth, so probably add a 4th Gargaroth. I think 2 Garricks is good. Maybe drop off a Shovel for another removal spell, and maybe drop off an Asika's Chariot for another Polychronos or a Chainweb Arachneer. Kind of look for more insulation against rogues. Aside from that, I'm actually pretty happy with the build. I think it has solid matchups pretty much against rogues and against aggro, just kind of lacks against ultimatum, which is pretty much what I've been saying. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Again, deck list will be in the description down below as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.